I'm Bud Kaywood. I'm the chairman for Citizens for the Future of Alexander County. I appreciate the comments by the two gentlemen before me. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. French, and Ms. Starnes, CFAC Citizens for the Future of Alexander County appreciate the opportunity to present to you a plan for the future of our county that we feel confident you will adopt and put in place to begin an upturn in our economy. Let me also say that we appreciate your commitment and service to our county. This presentation will be shown in three parts. Part one will be a very short overview of CFAC. Part two will consist of economic charts and comparisons between Alexander County, neighboring counties, and comparable counties. Part three will be the economic stimulus plan. The presentation will last approximately 20 to 25 minutes. What you have up on the screen is our website. It has links to Alexander County Economic Development Corporation, Alexander County official website, Catawba Valley Community College, and the Hidden Knight Center. This presentation will be available on the CFAC website, hopefully by tomorrow. About 3 years ago, several Alexander County business owners and business leaders began to meet just to chat about the county's future and potential. These were very informal meetings. As these discussions progressed, we began to add new people with new ambitions and thoughts. It wasn't long before we realized we were forming an organized group of concerned citizens who wanted a better economic future for the county. In April of this year, we formed Citizens for the Future of Alexander County, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We have a board of directors, a committee structure, bylaws, and mission statement. Our mission statement is as follows. The objectives of Citizens for the Future of Alexander County are to develop, encourage, promote, and protect the commercial, professional, financial, general business, residential pride, and general appearance of Alexander County, and to extend and promote trade, commerce, culture, and agriculture of Alexander County, and to foster, develop, and protect the commercial, industrial, residential, cultural, and recreational development of Alexander County. Our focus was on special initiatives, and we had a lot of them, but we actually boiled it down to four very important ones moving forward. To help revitalize our local economy, build tourism on natural scenic beauty, create a cultural arts environment, develop retirement opportunities. We believe Alexander County's unique natural beauty, rich heritage and agriculture, quaint small communities, affordable retirement living, and foothills location make it an ideal travel destination and permanent location. Our first initiative, identify an economic problem and how can we begin to solve it. Problem, where are we spending our dollars? Do our residents know what happens when we don't shop locally? Are we driving our tax dollars to surrounding counties? The answer is yes. Do our residents realize every purchase they make has a point of sale and the sales tax for that purchase goes to the county where purchased? In all of our meetings over the past couple of years, most of our residents don't quite understand that or realize it. Do our residents know that every time they drive across our county line into Catawba, Caldwell, Wilkes, or Idle counties to purchase anything, our sales tax stays in that county? Again, the answer is no. Do our residents understand that none of that revenue comes back to Alexander County? And again, the answer is no. There is a portion that comes back to us that we do know that comes back through point of sale, and that's awarded to all counties.
Per capita.
Per capita, correct. If you excuse me 1 second. We've got, Nikia, we need to get this back on full screen. Get that on full screen. This chart was put together with help from the North Carolina Department of Commerce. It is a county rank in retail sales based on population. There are 11 counties listed. Alexander County would be in the middle according to the population, 5 above and 5 below. We are last in total annual retail sales by more than $22 million. Please note Davie County. The North Carolina Department of Commerce likes to compare Alexander County to Davie County in that we have similar demographics. We are manufacturing-based, rural communities, and considered a bedroom county. Davie County residents leave to work in Statesville, Lexington, Winston-Salem, and some as far away as Greensboro and High Point. Please note the difference in total retail sales, more than $230 million. Davie County put their economic stimulus plan in place in 2002 and built a new shopping center with restaurants and revitalized downtown. Below, you can see a comparison to our neighboring counties. Here's a chart of our neighboring counties that include annual retail sales, annual sales food and beverage, and annual sales in restaurants. If you notice, Catawba is at $1.9 billion, $330 million, and $223 million in annual restaurant sales. Iredell is not much different. Wilkes is, you can see the numbers up there, and then Caldwell. And then here's Alexander County. These retail sales numbers for Alexander County are microscopic compared to our neighboring counties. You will notice some similarities in the disparity of food and beverage sales and restaurant sales for Caldwell County. They have a similar problem in losing business to Catawba County. It begins at Granite Falls. However, they did address it and built the Super Walmart shopping center and added restaurants to stop some of the retail sales loss. One of the first things we did as an organization was to create awareness to shopping locally and spending money in our own county. We brought to you a plan and a flyer for a campaign to buy local. You liked it, put it in the county tax notice, mailed it, and made it happen. That was a seed planted. This campaign has since been turned over to Alexander County Economic Development Corporation to take it to the next level. We've got a short video here that we want to show you. Alexander County has 2 main channels where dollars are driving out of our county, Highway 127 South and Highway 16 South. We all know it. Here are 2 15-second videos without explanation. The morning that Highway 127 South was filmed, we took footage of 1 minute and 17 seconds. During that time, 39 cars left the county, 1 every 2 seconds. We spent approximately 20 minutes at each location. Same result, car after car after car leaving the county. The North Carolina Department of Transportation estimates that approximately 12,000 cars exit Alexander County every workday. If only one person in each car spent only $5 in neighboring counties, it would amount to $60,000 per day, $300,000 per week, $1,299,000 per month, and $15,588,000 per year. Let me also add this. If those $5 were spent in Alexander County, it would increase our annual retail sales by 8.9%, from $174 million to more than $189 million. The fact is, Alexander County does not get any of the sales tax revenue or retail sales revenue. It's time to stop spending money outside Alexander County. Again, there is a portion that comes back to us from the state based on per capita. Our dollars, our retail sales, our jobs, our children's future are all slipping away. It's time to envision possibilities. In the past several years, Alexander County has seen some very positive and exciting changes. The expansion of water throughout the county, the opening of Rocky Face Mountain Recreation Area, and on October 1st, the approval to purchase land for the expansion of CVCC Center for Education. These changes don't just happen. They happen through leadership. They happen because there is a plan and a vision for the future. But we can't stop now. We have to envision all of the possibilities. Instead of this, imagine this. 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 And instead of this, imagine this. And how can we begin to make this happen? Implement a proven economic stimulus plan for more jobs, for more money for schools and emergency and public services, for keeping property taxes low, for a better local economy. In the past 10 years, 12 North Carolina counties recognized the need to implement a proven economic stimulus plan. And over the past 5 years, 65 municipalities recognized the same need to implement a plan for a better local economy. Citizens for the Future of Alexander County believe it is our time for that opportunity. How can we make this happen? Call for a vote for a countywide ABC referendum. I'm going to pull this chart back up from before. These counties that are highlighted in blue have countywide on-premise and off-premises sale of alcohol. These counties in red have on-premises and off-premises legal sale of alcohol in most of their municipalities. 98 counties in North Carolina have both on and off-premises sale somewhere in the county. Only Alexander County and Graham County do not sell on premises. If you look at Jackson County recently passed their referendum in May. When I talked to the county manager not too long ago, he said that since May, he's had an increase in total retail sales of 6.6%. I asked him if he could determine where that came from. He said no, but the only thing that they did different was pass a countywide referendum. Alexander County is not a dry county. Alexander County is wet. Fact is, neighboring counties get our cash, and Alexander County gets their trash. What's this referendum all about? It's about a reality check. In reality, this referendum is about Alexander County's economic future and well-being of all of our communities. It's about economic growth and new opportunities for Alexander County. We know from other successful referendums statewide that new restaurants, hotels, and businesses will be more willing to open in our county if we legalize the sale of alcohol. Visitors to Rocky Face Mountain Recreation Area, local apple orchards, and other area attractions could then stay here instead of Hickory and Statesville because we'll have more lodging and restaurants. It's about keeping millions in tax revenue here at home rather than funding the budgets of neighboring counties. It's about the opportunity for all of our county's food and beverage stores to improve their retail sales and not lose business to neighboring counties. We know through research and surveys that our businesses endorse this referendum. We surveyed 16 of 17 food and beverage stores in the county outside of Taylorsville city limits, including marinas. We had a survey of 12 questions. 4 of those questions were very important. The other ones were basically for gathering data. Question number 2, how is your business compared to last year? Only 3 out of 16, 19%, say business is better now compared to last year. Question number 7, do you think some of your customers are shopping in neighboring counties? 15 out of 16, 94%, believe they lose business to neighboring counties. Question number 8, why? Lower prices, products you don't sell, or one-stop shopping? 15 out of 16 believe it's due to products they don't sell. And question number 12, if you could sell beer or wine, 14 out of 60 said they would sell beer or wine if they were permitted to. These business owners have told us that they can serve their communities better with more variety and deeper inventory on their shelves with the addition of beer and/or wine. There are 6 commercial retail businesses on Lake Hickory. All of them are marinas, and 4 of them are located in Alexander County, none in Catawba County. I would say that we have a handle on that market if we decide to develop it. We have met county restaurant owners who have said they would probably not serve alcohol in their current restaurants, but would certainly consider opening a new one if alcohol were permitted. We have met with restaurant owners outside Alexander County who would consider opening a restaurant if alcohol was permitted. And we have met with convenience store owners who said they would consider new locations and upgrading existing ones if alcohol sales were permitted. This is economic growth waiting to happen. This means more jobs. We know there will be an opposition to this referendum. We know this because there has been opposition to every other referendum in the state. But we also know through research and working with other referendum committees and organizations, chambers of commerce, and EDCs around the state, that if we present the facts, the voters will have the opportunity to make the right choice based on their beliefs. It's time to set the record straight. We need to vote based on facts, not fear. Opponents of legalized control of alcohol will use misinformation to try to scare people. Fear. If a referendum passes, there would be more alcohol-related accidents and DWIs. Fact. Statistics show that there are more alcohol-related accidents in dry counties than wet counties. And in fact, Alexander County's percent of crashes that involved alcohol is substantially higher than that of Catawba, Iredell, Caldwell, and Wilkes, and in fact, higher than the state average. Let me also add that if you go beyond those counties that border us and go out to 15 more counties, Alexander County still has the highest rate. Fear. Passing the referendum would mean Alexander County will have a bar and gentlemen's club on every corner. Fact. Because of its zoning powers, Alexander County gets to decide what kinds of business can open and where. The referendum means more control over alcohol, not less. Fear. Passing a referendum would lead to more consumption of alcoholic beverages. Fact. Distributors of alcoholic beverages say that only the location of distribution changes, and there is not any significant change in total retail sales. All of the facts and information have been validated and are derived from a research and surveys, county, regional, and state agencies, and are the foundation for recognizing the need for economic change in Alexander County. Citizens for the Future of Alexander County recognizes that the controlled legal sale of alcohol is a necessary component for the vitality and economic success of our county as it is for our neighboring counties. This call for an alcohol referendum is about building countywide retail sales and keeping millions of dollars in Alexander County rather than funding budgets of neighboring counties. The addition of alcohol sales will give the county an economic tool to fund additional dollars for our schools, law enforcement, and public services without raising taxes. The ABC referendum for the future of Alexander County, to permit the on-premises and off-premises sale of malt beverages, to permit the on-premises and off-premises sale of unfortified wine, to permit the operation of ABC stores, to permit the sale of mixed beverages in hotels, restaurants, private clubs, community theaters, and convention centers. This is what the ballot would look like. This is from the ABC board. We believe an ABC referendum will be a valuable tool for the growth and revitalization of our county, just as it has for many other counties in North Carolina. This county has amazing natural resources, mountains, rivers, orchards, and meadows, and crowned across its north side, the brushies embrace us. I believe our economic development plans ought to center on how to bring our own citizens and folks from surrounding communities into these hills and down from them to town for recreation, music, art, and all the other human activities these hills are standing here to abide. I didn't write that. It was part of the Rocky Face Mountain Recreation Area dedication speech by Mr. Bob Empting with the Parks and Recreation Trust Fund. It was more than a dedication speech and has resonated in me ever since. It was a charge to our county leaders, town leaders, and all citizens to step up and take charge of our own future. Citizens for the future of Alexander County urge you to support our right as citizens of Alexander County to call for a vote for a countywide ABC referendum. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I made a comment the other night related to statistics, and Mr. Gaywood's done a good job with his presentation, and there are a few things, though I went through the paper copy this afternoon, there are a few things that need to be mentioned, not that they're necessarily misinformation, but things that need to be looked at. Now, I know you said the Department of Commerce said that Alexander County and Davie County were who they compared in the list you gave. I think Alexander and Yadkin County are probably a closer comparison because Davie County, we looked at Davie County, it joins Forsyth, and there has been industrial development, residential development in Davie County because of Forsyth that we don't have the opportunity for. Alexander County, by its geographical location, we're associated with the Charlotte partnership, and we have looked at other associations, and any group we go with, we're always in a rural fringe. So Davie County is a little bit, has an advantage Alexander County does not have. The 12,000 cars leaving the county, I have no doubt that your figures are right. When I came on the board in 1996, 57% of the working people of Alexander County worked outside the county. And if you take your count and you look at the fact that we've lost furniture, textiles, fiber optics cut back, I'm sure that the number's accurate, and it's not too far from the numbers we had in 1996. The pictures related to, can you imagine this? I went back and checked the ownership of the Trio in Midnight. I don't think it's going to become a grocery store, whether there's beer, wine sales or not. I have walked through that hospital with several different groups of people who were interested in doing something with it. the hospital is not going to become an aquatic center, and an urgent care facility will have to figure out a way to generate revenue before that becomes practical. But but the statistics you have are accurate. I have only glanced at a few things out of the paperwork that Mr. Addison gave us a little while ago. A couple things. Alcoholics, 7.4% of the adult population have the problem with alcoholism. There's another one in here, for every dollar generated in tax revenue from alcohol sales in North Carolina, there's a corresponding expenditure of $21.42 due to the cost of alcohol-related problems. So, and the reason I mentioned that, I'm not debating or arguing with either one of you. You can take statistics, and we've had the conversation, if you give me enough time with statistics, I can prove about any point I want to prove. And one of my favorite quotes is attributed to Mark Twain. They're lies, they're damn lies, and they're statistics. And you can't sit down and just say, okay, here's the facts and here's how it's going to happen. Several years ago, this came up about having a referendum in Alexander County for beer, wine, for alcoholic beverage sales. And at that time, I had said, and Gary Jennings quoted statistics right. I've got the statutes up here if anybody wants to see it. But if 35% of the residents or the registered voters sign a petition, a referendum has to be conducted. Another option is for county commissioners to call for a referendum. Based on the information I have, a referendum in Alexander County will cost about $25,000. And a few years ago when this came up, my statement then was if we can get petitions that represent 12 to 15% of the registered voters in Alexander County, I would support a referendum, because that is a number that signifies that there is an interest in the referendum. And I still feel that that was a legitimate consideration at that time. And based on what's taken place in the past, based on the information I'm looking at here tonight, I'll make a motion that if we receive petitions reflecting 15% of the registered voters in Alexander County, this board will call for a referendum on beer, wine, liquor sales.
Is there a second? There's no second. I'd like to ask a couple questions.
May I address the petition for a second, please?
Yeah.
Based on the, all of the referendums in the state over the past number of years, a petition, countywide petition, is virtually impossible to make happen, basically because of the numbers and the verification of numbers. We have found this out with a number of different referendum committees and groups that have gotten together. So, and I appreciate your comments, Commissioner Robertson, but I just wanted to point that out.
Has there ever been because I don't know this, has there ever been a countywide referendum in Alexander County? Do you know that?
Not that I know of.
Mr. French, do you have any idea if that has occurred? Never been one?
Well, I've been voting since I was 21, and I've never voted on one.
Never been one?
I don't think. I
Well-
would like to ask the question also of why we already have beer and wine sales in this county. How that happened?
We don't have beer and wine sales in the county.
That's
Well,
inside
excuse
the-
me, at
The
spots.
town of Taylorsville has beer and wine sales, and there is at least one place I know of that has a satellite annexation. So
Right,
they can
they
sell beer and wine.
reached
Yeah,
out and pulled it
Right.
in to get it.
Right.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Jennings brought this up. Why was this not put on the ballot during the presidential election? Because you obviously would have more voters out there.
We didn't put it on the ballot because we weren't ready to present it to you. Oh, actually, that's right, it's not allowed. That's correct. Because it is an alcohol referendum, it cannot be attached to a presidential election.
Mr. Chairman, I'm probably going to do either one of the most favorable things or one of the most unpopular things I've probably ever done in my life. But the one thing that I truly believe in is I thoroughly believe in the citizens' right to vote. Whether I believe in this or whether I don't, doesn't matter. The point is that the citizens absolutely, positively have the right to vote on this issue. But folks, I'm going to tell you that this has been a very difficult decision for me ever since Gary Sane and Reverend Jennings approached 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I don't even remember. This is not the second time. This is about the third time that this animal has protruded out of the ground and shown its face of something that needed to occur in this county. And it's been a very difficult situation for me. I've thought long and hard about this. I've had phone calls today. I've had phone calls from pastors. I've had phone calls from people that strongly supported me during the election. And they supported me because they said that they felt like that I was a very conservative person and that I would always stand up for what I believe in. Well, tonight I'm going to stand up for what I believe in. And it's not whether you buy it, it's not whether you drink it, it's not whether you use it. That's an individual choice, whether I like it or whether I don't. But I do firmly believe from the bottom of my heart that each individual in a community, a state, or a country has the right to vote on an issue of this magnitude. And I am so thankful that the only thing that I need to make a motion on is the right to vote on this issue and not the right to serve it. So I will, at this time, Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion to approve a countywide alcoholic beverage election. And I think it has to go something like permit the on and off-premises sale of malt beverages, to permit the on and off-premises sale of unfortified wines, and to permit the operation of ABC stores, and to permit the sale of mixed beverages in hotels, restaurants, private clubs, community theaters, and convention centers, and that this alcoholic beverage election be held at a special election date. I make this motion tonight, and I make it because it is absolutely, positively, the right of the citizens to vote this thing up or down and let the citizens of this county decide what they want. There's a lot of fantastic people on both sides, good people on both sides, and I think that it's time to let the citizens of this county make that decision.
Commissioner Yoder, I'd like a moment to make a couple comments before we proceed with the vote.
There's not a second. We don't have a motion.
Yeah. Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Go ahead, Berkey.
Yes. I too have struggled as to whether or not I would support the vote for the referendum. As Reverend Jennings so aptly said, and I've researched the ABC laws thoroughly in the state, there's two ways to call for a referendum. The county commission can call for a referendum straight out. The second way for a referendum is 35% of the voters would sign a petition, and automatically the county commissioners have to call for a referendum. But I've searched my soul, and I've searched my conscience, I've searched my philosophy, and the last time I checked, this country is a democracy. And it's time for the people, on one side or the other. All the county commission is doing is calling for a vote for the referendum. It's not us deciding whether the referendum is going to be for or against these four different things. It's up to the people to decide whether it's passed or not passed. So therefore, when I finally decided, and I decided when I woke up this morning how I was going to vote. And when the vote is called for, you will find out how I'm going to vote for. But I believe since we live in a democracy, and thank God that we do live in a democracy, then we will vote one way or the other on this resolution, and then the people can decide what is going to happen in Alexander County.
I'll make a comment myself. I kind of was, you don't know how difficult it is sometimes sitting in this chair. And we have to make some difficult decisions. And this one has been very difficult, very hard. I've spent a lot of time thinking about it. And as a matter of fact, before I was elected 4 years ago, people were approaching me on one side or the other. You don't need to bring that up for a vote. We do need to bring it up for a vote. So it's been a tug of war for me personally. One thing that kind of changed my mind was the marriage amendment. And we had a lot of people that were in favor of putting the marriage amendment on the ballot. And all they wanted was the right to vote on it. And we can't deny the people of this county the right to vote on this issue when we didn't do it on the last issue. If you were for that and just asked for the right to vote, that's all they're asking for is the right to vote. And I'm tired of dealing with it. I'm going to let the people decide. If you always err on the side of freedom, you will be on the right side. And we are not endorsing this one way or another. There's only one person, other than myself, that will know how I vote when I go into that ballot box, and that's going to be my wife.
Mr. Chairman, call for the vote.
All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, motion passes 4-1.
We appreciate your consideration on this and certainly appreciate the opportunity for the citizens to vote. I know that we have to go to the Board of Elections to file for this election. Mr. French, if we can work out a time schedule just as soon as possible, we would appreciate that. Also, I think there might be a resolution possibly that needs to be read. I don't know if that needs to be done in case there's an issue with the Board of Elections.
Does it have to be read tonight? Is that,
That's the motion that you made.
was that the motion I made? Okay.
Okay,
All right.
all right.
So, okay. Well, I don't know. I just,
Thank you.
Well, I just like to comment that there's nothing been decided tonight other than the referendum is going before the people. I personally don't want that responsibility of deciding this. These people have been bothered with this for years. I've only been a commissioner for 2 years. But I can tell you that I've had enough. I want the people to vote for it, just like we did on the marriage amendment.
It's up to you guys to fight it out.
Exactly.
When it's over, it'll be done, it'll be settled, yes or no.
Let me,
For 3 years, for 3 years.
3 years.
there are a lot of people that were involved in this process that have done a lot of research and spent a lot of time gathering information so that we could put a presentation together that would be not only available to you, but to all of the citizens of the county. And I just want to say thank you to every one of them who helped support this effort.
And I want to say one thing, just to clarify something. This is for the county. This has nothing to do inside the Taylorsville town limits. So this is only in the county.
But every resident has the opportunity to
Yes.
vote.
Every resident has the opportunity to vote. Okay.
Thank you.